So let's check out Reborn OS. What's up guys, it's Josh back with another video, and today I wanted to check out Reborn OS. Now I heard a lot of great things about this distribution. I actually reviewed it about a year ago, or basically just took a look at the actual operating system just to check it out. It's an Arch-based Linux distribution and it looks super cool as far as this latest release, and so I wanted to go on and check it out. So let's go on and hop over to the website. So in case this is your first time hearing about it, we can see what it's all about. Before we move forward, I wanted to give a quick shout out to CIQ, the official partner of Rocky Linux. Rocky Linux is a Linux distribution that is intended to be a downstream complete binary compatible release using the Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system source code. The project is led by Gregory Kurtzer, who was the founder of the CentOS project. So check out Rocky Linux at ciq.co. Alright, cool. So we are at RebornOS.org, and of course I always have the link down in the description of the video, but it says made for you, made with you. And then we can go through and look at a little bit more information, but that's what it looks like. I believe the default desktop environment is my favorite, the one and only XFCE, but you do have plenty of options for other desktop environments when you get it installed. It pretty much has pretty much everything, so you can check it out and just check it out right here. It says desktop and Windows Manager. Pick your desktop and window manager, and that's one way of actually installing it, and I'll show you guys this when we get into the actual installer. But it allows you to do an offline version or offline install, which you won't get any updates until you connect it to the internet, obviously, or you reboot the system and get it up. You know, if you do the offline version, and it comes with the default desktop environment of XFCE, but the online version allows you to pick, you know, whatever desktop environment you want on it, and you can, you know, install that, and you'll get all the updates when you're updating the operating system. So that's the two different ways to install it. But right here it says global in the community, engage with us and our community on our social channels. So they do have a, you know, a forum board you guys can check out. Let me go and open that up so you guys can see. But this is the forum board with, you know, pretty much any and everything you need in order to get some help with this distribution. Endless customization, select your software, kernel, desktop, and Windows Manager. Pretty much all the essential features of most Linux distributions. Always up to date, and like I said, Reborn OS is Arch-based. And it's a rolling release system, so you'll always be up to date, so you're good to go. Now here's some of the features. You got your advanced installer, and like I said, it's two different types of installers. There's the offline and the online, and I'll show you guys that when we get into it, because I want to go through and install it for you guys. But select your software and kernel. It's a very detailed installer. Now Reborn OS Fire, and this allows you to kind of tweak your system or install new desktops and programs. They also have documentation, so plenty of documentation, help guides, so you can get help with installing the operating system. And to me, this is almost like a beginner, you know, distribution at the end of the day, especially being that it's Arch-based. You know, you don't see too many of them that are, you know, as simple, other than maybe Manjaro, but this thing is like super simple to get up and running. You know, get all your drivers installed, all that good stuff installed. But they're gonna show you right here a couple different desktops. So they do have the KDE Plasma, which is that one that we've seen at the top. You can also do GNOME, as well as the Deepin desktop environment, which is super dope. That one actually looks pretty good. And then Cinnamon, and like I said, a whole bunch of them. Cutfish, or Cutefish, I'm sorry. And then UKUI, LXQT, which is awesome to see. And of course, my favorite XFCE is there as well. Mate as well. And that's the crazy part about this distribution. It pretty much has all the desktops. I think I said that in the beginning, but Budgie, Enlightenment, OpenBox, i3, you got your tiling managers. It covers the whole gamut, to get it installed on the system during the install. So super dope. Now they also have an ARM version. It's a beta, but we're not gonna check that out. We're gonna check out the the full desktop version. So all you have to do to get it is to hit download. I'm gonna click on that in a second, but it's cool. It's always cool to see Arch based Linux distribution linked to the Arch wiki, because the Arch wiki is awesome. You know what I'm saying? It has a whole bunch of information in the Arch wiki, and since it's an Arch based distribution, then you kind of want to go there. If you run into issues, you'll find a lot of the fixes over there as well. And Arch is real good with updating if there are packages that are messed up, or if you see errors during the upgrade. They pretty much put the information out there real quick, so people can know how to fix whatever issue is, or if it's a workaround, they put that information out there. So it's always dope to see, one of these distributions linked to the Arch wiki. But they do have their own wiki, and I'll open it up as well so you guys can check that out. But it's wiki.reborn.org, and that's what I meant by the documentation. All the documentation, right here. It uses the Calamaris installer. So let's go and hop over to our virtual machine so I can show you guys how to get it installed. But you download it here, and then all you have to do is hit the download button right there. And like I said, they have an ARM version. They also have other mirrors. You can check that out. Frequently asked questions. So they do have an installation guide, which is super simple. It's not difficult at all to install. But yeah, you just hit download. I already have it downloaded, and like I said, this came out a couple weeks ago. I'll say about 3 weeks ago. It came out with this latest version. So let's go on and download it and get it installed. Alright, cool. So we are booting into Live ISO. As you can see, first thing that'll pop up is the install menu. And basically you have two different options, like I was stating before. You have the install offline or the install online. All you have to do is click whichever one you want. And I'm gonna click the install online right fast so you guys can check it out right fast. So what it's gonna do is open up the Calamaris installer. And like I said, it's two different ones. I'm not gonna go through both of them. I just want to show you what it's gonna do up in this one. So as you can see, this is Calamaris. Super dope. So let's go through it right fast. It automatically recognizes my location based on the system, your keyboard settings. And this is what I was talking about, where you can go through and select your different desktop environments. I'm gonna do the offline version just to make it quicker, because it is a little bit quicker. You don't have to worry about downloading anything. But as you can see, you have all these options for your desktop environments. Now I'm not gonna go through this one, so I'm gonna just select XFCE just so we can go through and show you what else is there. But as you can see, you have a whole bunch of extra packages you can install on the system. So you got a minimal base, RebornOS, you got some backend system stuff, kernels, all that stuff, audio, graphics if you need it, Bluetooth, front end system, so Docker, alternative app stores, text editors, pretty much any and everything you can think of. Leisure and entertainment, so they do have gamings, browsers, all that stuff. I just want to show you what's on the default. That's why I'm gonna do the offline version, and just to show you guys what it actually comes with the offline or as the default applications. This allows you to customize it so much that you can get whatever you want. And that's one of the benefits of actually installing RebornOS. You can go through and install pretty much any and everything you need. FFmpeg, web camera software, video editing software, pretty much any and everything. Office, productivity. So you can pick whatever Office application you want on it. Media production. What else we got? Development, so you can get a whole development suite installed or something like that. Rust, Python 3, C++, JavaScript. You can have a whole environment installed while you installing the operating system. So I'm gonna hit next, but essentially the rest of it is setting up your system just like you would if it didn't have those other options through the KeepItTechie installer. You know, you partitioning your drive, setting up your main user, and then the summary and install. So I'm gonna hit cancel on this because, like I said, I wanted to do the offline version. So I canceled it, and then you can go right back to this menu, hit install offline, and it's gonna open up the offline version of the KeepItTechie installer. And essentially all it did was took out, you know, the software install as well as the desktop install. So let's hit next, and then we're right there at the partitioning portion. So you make sure you select your storage drive, erase this. I always do swap the file, and then just verify your bootloader location is going on in the right location. Hit next. Oh, and you did have encryption, so you can encrypt the system as well. I didn't show you guys that, but let's go on, type in our account. So I'm gonna do Josh, and I'm gonna name this RebornOS, and then put in a password for it for my account. And then also you have the administrator account on here. It says use the same password for the administrator account. You can also select that it requires a strong password, and that'll probably make my password a whole lot stronger. I use an easy password, you know, when I'm installing these virtual machines. That's totally different from anything I use, you know, for real. But this is all it's always a simple password on mine, so I can't change it by using that. But let's hit next there and go through the summary. All it's gonna do is show you everything you're doing, and hit install now, and I'll be back when this actually finishes. It doesn't take too long when you're doing an offline version, because it's basically getting the software or getting everything off the CD. So everything is coming from the CD. It's not, you know, it's connected to the internet, but it's not, you know, pulling anything from the internet or repositories from somewhere. So like I said, I'll be back when this actually finishes. All right, so as you can see, the installer is done, and like I said, it don't take too long with the offline installer. Only thing is you're gonna catch it on the back end when it comes to this offline installer, because you got to do a whole bunch of updates. It's not gonna go through the updates, you know. So I'm gonna run the updates. Let me go down and restart the system, and that way we can boot into the, you know, the operating system, the new operating system install, and then I'll run through and do the updates, and then we'll go through the system. And it's another reason why I did it this way is so we can go on and get the install done, kind of on a time crunch tonight. And I wanted to go on and get this thing, you know, kind of done by showing you guys everything, and then I'm gonna do an update as well. But anyway, as you can see, this is the XFCE desktop environment. Let me go down and fix it right fast by going into our settings and then display settings, because I always want to, you know, get it right so it's not that blank space behind my head while I'm recording. But let's go down and do that right fast. So I'll keep this configuration, boom. But this is what will pop up soon as you get into the operating system. It's basically a lot of information about the system. You know, it's 3 different categories. So documentation, support, and then contribute. Now under the documentation, that'll basically open up the website using the default browser, which is Firefox. You got your RebornOS wiki, that'll take you to their wiki, the Arch wiki, which is super dope to see. Services status, so let's open that up and actually see what it is. I can't remember what that is off the top of my head. Oh, okay, all right, so this is just the status of, you know, all the repositories and all that stuff. So cool, that's good to go. Now support, they do have a Discord server, so you can join that. And like I said, with this operating system, they have, you know, any and every, you know, social media site to help you through your transition to this operating system. And that's why I say it's a good operating system for people that are new to Linux, because you have a whole bunch of support. You have the support like that for a lot of other distributions too, but this is like a Arch based one, so you don't see that much on distributions, in my opinion, at least based on my experience. Like this one, they even, you know, point you to the forum board. They have a Facebook page, and I'm not sure if that's a group or a page. I haven't looked at it. I'm not gonna go look at it right now, but they also have a Twitter account, so you can get information about the operating system as they talk about it on the Twitter account and the Facebook page. And then also contribute. So feedback, you can give feedback. You can also donate to the project, which is always a good thing. A lot of these developers for open source, software or distributions like this, they don't get a lot of money for this. They're doing this is probably a group of people that work on this together, and they don't probably get paid for this, you know what I'm saying? And so it's good to donate to these types of projects. And then the project GitHub page, as well as the About Us. So that's awesome to see, you know what I'm saying? And then if you go under utilities, let's press OK right here, but it says RebornOS believes in offering choices without bloating the user system, and which is a great thing. This is one of the distributions that's kind of the closest to just installing Orch. You basically have an installer, it installs the operating system based on what you want, you know what I'm saying? You have to go through and install it, but other than that, it's pretty minimal on the software. They put just base software that you would typically need for an operating system, and not a whole bunch of bloat or junk on the system that you may or may not want to use. So that's a good thing to actually see. So let's go down and press OK there. But there are some links that'll get you up and running. So the installer, so this PacMac or PayMac, I always mess that up, PacMac. Disk usage, you got repositories, you can modify your repositories. I'm not gonna go through these. System monitoring, Stacer, I know that tool. So let's go down and type in our sudo password, because that's essentially what it's gonna it needs to open that up. But Stacer, you know what I'm saying, that's awesome to see. I'm gonna hit quit on it, but as you can see, that gives you information about the system. You also have a system cleaner. You can customize grub, hardware information, refresh pacman mirrors, and disk management. So Gport it right off of this one little menu. And then you can turn this off if you don't want to see it on boot up, but it's going to pop up every time on boot up. Oh, and one other thing I always like to talk about is Timeshift. Timeshift is on here, so you can back up your stuff. Now let's go on and close this right fast. That's all I want to show you guys under there. But let's go on and run these updates to the background, because I'm gonna use this operating system for other tutorials and reviews later on. So I'm gonna keep this one around for a little while. But sudo pacman, and this is the first thing you want to do when you install this operating system, is update it. If you do it the way I did it, you may have some updates on the online version once it gets installed, but yeah, you want to update your system as soon as you get it. And as you can see, it's got the multi-stream downloaded and enabled, so it's downloading more than one package at a time. So that's super dope that it does that. A lot of times, or on the main Orch, you have to enable this. I think it's called parallel downloading, and they also have it looks like where you can download, like I think they got it to where you can download probably 10 packages at a time. So that's super dope. And as you can see, the updates didn't take that long. It's not that many updates, because we got this thing was released last month, so it's not bad. I've updated Orch systems that I've had sitting around for about 4 months or so, and it's double the packages, and it took forever to update it. And then also sometimes you'll run into like key issues, SSL key issues, or repository changes, all that stuff, and the system won't even update. You may run into errors, but so that's not that bad on the time, about a month or so. But yeah, that's essentially how you install your software once you get it on here, and you can use it exactly like you would use any Orch based Linux distributions, the Pacman package manager. That's how you install stuff. Now you do have, let's actually go to NeoFetch right fast, or see if it's on here. Oh, it's not on here. Okay, whatever. Well, let's exit out that, but I just wanted to open up the installer, the graphical installer. Let's see if we can find it right fast, but it's PayMac. And yeah, all we have to do is hit run PayMac or add remove software. Which one? Run PayMac. Let's run PayMac and just see what happens. See if it pops up with the software installer for us. And it looks like PayMac didn't open up, so that might have been an issue with the. So let's go to add remove software, see if that brings it up. Yeah, there we go. So add remove software. So we're good to go. But this is, you know, a simple way of installing whatever you want. And let's go to about. Yeah, and it's PayMac. So all you have to do is, you know, do the software or type software in there and find it. But yeah, that's PayMac right here. And then just to show you guys, you can go to browse, which is where we are. You can see what's installed by clicking on the install button, but it'll show, you know, installed and not installed software under here. And it's also broken up in categories. So you got your categories, you can break it out: photos, videos, music, audio, productivity, you know, all the different categories you could think of. And you got your groups, you know, down there. So if you want to install like a whole nother desktop, you know, a lot of times the package name is a group name. So let's say you want to install GNOME. I think it's just GNOME and then GNOME extras. So that's what considers like a group of packages, and it'll essentially install all the software that goes along with GNOME. You know what I'm saying? So same thing in here. So you got Cinnamon. There you go, Cinnamon. Base Devil. You know what I'm saying? That's a group package. Compass Fusion. You can install everything for Compass, the GTK version, the KDE version, Cutefish, all your different, you know, desktop environments. A lot of times are under groups. And then just to go back under categories again, I just kind of wanted to show you, but they do have, you know, development, utilities, games, you know, any and everything you could think of under here. Now, you also have access to your repository. So you got your RebornOS repository, then you got your core, extra, community, and multi-lib. So that's there. And one cool thing about it, you have access to the AUR from here as well. But let's check out the install. So you got it broken out in categories as well. So explicitly install. And one cool thing about it, you know, instead of running a pacman command to get the orphan accounts, I can't remember what the command is, but you can actually look at it under here. Look at your orphan accounts or foreign, not accounts, but orphan packages or orphan or foreign packages. You know what I'm saying? Explicitly installed, you know, and then the all that shows you pretty much everything that's installed on the system. And then you can go through and do your updates here as well, and that's cool. Our updates finished, so it's best once you do your updates to reboot the system. We're not gonna reboot it right now. I just kind of wanted to run it, but we are fully up to date. You want to reboot the system after this though. I didn't want to reboot it because I wanted to show you guys the update. So as you can see right now, it already knows that the system is up to date. We can run the refresh again. Your system is up to date. We just got to reboot it after this, and it may pop up with an alert saying to reboot it. But just show you guys some more features. Software mode, refresh databases. So if you need to refresh those databases, view history, you can look at what's been installed. Install local packages. So if you have a package that you developed and you want to get that thing installed on here, you get to go. Preferences, about, and we already looked at that. That's PayMac 10.4.3-1. So there you go. That's there. And that's pretty much it as far as software. Now let's check out what's on here. Like what I was saying earlier, it comes with default of Firefox. And then also this is XFCE. So XFCE comes with specific packages. And if you guys have used it before, then you probably know what it is. So skip this step. Come on, man. I don't care about this. I just want to show you guys what version of Firefox is on here. So let's go under, is it help about Firefox? So yeah, we got 107.0.1. So we got that version of Firefox on here, which is good to go. Let's go down and close that right fast. But Thunor, I believe it should be Thunor. So if we go under about, yeah, there we go. So Thunor 4.16.11. So that's what we have installed on here. Oh, that's a cool little icon theme. So you got one folder in there, and that's your desktop folder under your home directory. So That's all it comes with. You know, you think it would have a little more like some of the other ones, you know, like documents, but it wants you to create everything yourself, which is, you know, makes sense. If you want things customized a certain way, you know what I'm saying, then you could do it all yourself. Or, you know, if you're coming from like a backup, you probably already had all those folders created, so all you gotta do is copy your folders over, as well as your hidden directories and all that stuff, that has, you know, your configurations and all that stuff for various software that you had installed on your other operating system, you know, will be there. Now let's go on here right fast, because I always like to show NeoFetch. So let's go sudo pacman -s, and let's install NeoFetch, and this should be in the main repository for Reborn. So let's see, yeah, there we go. So I always like to show NeoFetch, so let's clear this NeoFetch and press enter. There we go. So RebornOS, that's the host. The kernel is using kernel 6.0, and yeah, I could have ran uname and all that stuff, but I always like to do it this way. It's a simple way of getting everything I want versus, you know, searching for, you know, information. So how many packages installed, which that shows on all Orch, you know, Linux distributions. Pacman, you got your shell 5.1.16 resolution, desktop environment, so yeah, XFCE 4.16. And then the window manager XFWM4, window manager theme, so they got a default HDPI. I never used that one, but the theme is at water dork. I like that. I actually have that on my main system. You got your icon, so you can pretty much get everything, you know, that you're using from here. That's another reason you can look at the icon, theme, name. So if you guys want to, you know, install some of this stuff that you're seeing on this copy of Reborn and put it on whatever distribution you using, you at least have a reference to go to find everything that you're looking for here. XFCE4 terminal, and then which I would put Talix on here, and then just some information about the system, and that's cool. If you look at it, this is sitting idle. It's only using 762 megabytes as far as memory, so good to go. And then let's run something like htop right fast. Htop's not installed, that's weird, so let's run just top. I know top is installed or it's included in all Linux distributions. Actually, let's quit that. And they probably didn't put htop on here because of that system manager that they have on here, so that you could look at the graphical, you know. So screw that though, I want to look at it in the command line. So let's install htop right fast. And the reason I'm just going through and doing it because it's such a small application, you know what I'm saying, so you can see some information about the system. But yeah, there we go, man. We got 2 cores on here. The swap space, they put 512 megabytes, and that's via the swap file that we selected. And then as you can see, it's, you know, it's running idle, 700 something megabytes running idle. But anyway, let's go down and close that, go down and close the terminal, and look at some more of the tools that are included. But we do have what that looks like is G-ported right on the main menu, so you can go in there and perform changes to your hard drive if you need to. And it's cool they include it right there. You know, it probably, I don't know, I probably wouldn't have put it here, but I mean, it works, you know what I'm saying. It's there for you in case you need it, in case it's, because I look at that like a tool that you only need, let's say if you're adding a new hard drive or something to your system, or if you do a lot of formatting of, you know, external drives or something to that effect. But most people are not making changes to their hard drive like every single day, so it's no need to have G-ported right here on the desktop. But whatever, it works. But yeah, you got your menu over here, the person logged in, that's basically show desktop, volume, alerts if you have any alerts, battery settings, this is your updates, and then you have your internet connection. And it looks like it thinks that we are plugged in, but this is a virtual machine. But just to go through some of the applications, I don't want to go through them all because I kind of went through a whole lot But you got your image viewer, your internet browser, web browser, which is Firefox, multimedia, so Parallel Media Player, so that's good to see there. Let's see, Office, so no Office suites, and that's one thing you don't get with the offline. Doesn't put anything on there, and that's one way I recommend you do it if you want to customize your system, because like I said, it's not that much software on here. It's basically everything you need by default, and then you can install whatever else you want on here. You can open up that welcome application again. That'll show you all your options in here. But let's go into the settings right fast, just to check it out for a second. But we're not gonna go through any of this, but you can change the appearance, pretty much anything you can do in any XFCE desktop environment. You can do it here, you know, same options, you know, same menu options, all that good stuff. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was RebornOS. It's Orange-based Linux distribution. It's super dope. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want you guys to check it out for yourself. Go down, spin up a virtual machine, and check out RebornOS, because it's super simple to use, super simple to get set up, and it's also a good distribution for new users of Linux, because it's not that difficult to use. But please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, leave comments down in the comments below. And of course, keep it techie.